Namaste, this is Dr. R. Sridhar, Assistant Professor of Commerce, Government City College, Hyderabad. Today's topic is Accounting for Not-for-Profit Organizations, Part 2. In the previous part, that is Part 1, we have looked at what is accounting for, what are the non-profit organizations, what are the characteristics of non-for-profit organizations, and what are the different types of accounts that are need to be maintained under not-for-profit organizations. In today's class, we'll try to look at the different types of accounts that are maintained by the not-for-profit organizations. The final accounts of a not-for-profit organization consists of the following: receipts and payments account, income and expenditure account, balance sheet. We'll look at each account separately. The first one is receipt and payments account. As we know that the not-for-profit organizations maintains a receipt and payments account in order to record the transaction related to cash items. Here, the receipts and payments account is a summary of cash and bank transactions which help in the preparation of income and expenditure account and the balance sheet. Besides, it is a legal requirement as the receipts and payment account as also to be submitted to the Registrar of Societies along with the income and expenditure account and the balance sheet. Here, the receipts and payments account need to be prepared in order to know the closing balances of cash in hand and cash at bank. So, it will give you a clear picture about the various amounts that are received during the year and the payments that are paid during the year by looking at the receipts and payments accounts. The receipts and payments account is in the nature of real account. It is similar to that of a cash book with cash column, wherein both the cash and bank aspects will be recorded. And here, the receipts and payments account is based on the cash basis, that is the actual amount of cash items that are received and that are paid during the year in cash will only be recorded in the receipts and payments account. And the receipts and payment account records both revenue items as well as capital items, and it also records the items related to the previous year, current year, or the subsequent year, irrespective of the year to which the item belongs. If the original transaction, that is the receipt or payment made during the year for which we are preparing, if it takes place, it will be recorded in the receipts and payments account. And here the receipts and payments account will also help us in preparing the income and expenditure account and also the balance sheet. Next, income and expenditure account. Income and expenditure account is akin to profit and loss account of a trading concern. Here, in case of profit and loss trading organization, we prepare profit and loss account in order to know whether we got net profit or net loss. As the non-trading organization is not intended to ascertain profit or loss, as there is no point coming to picture, because these are the organizations which are established for only service orientation and not for profit. So we need to prepare the income and expenditure account, which similarly looks like a profit and loss account. Here, income and expenditure account is of nominal account in nature, wherein the expenditure is recorded on the debit side and incomes are to be recorded on the credit side. And here, the income and expenditure account is prepared in order to know whether there is excess of income over expenditure, that we term it as a surplus, or where there is excess of expenditure over income, we call it as a deficit, surplus or deficit. To ascertain or to know the surplus or deficit condition of the organization, we prepare income and expenditure account. The not-for-profit organizations usually prepare the income and expenditure account and a balance sheet with the help of the receipts and payments account. Here, the receipts and payments account will help an accountant in preparation of receipts, income and expenditure account. By looking at the receipt side of the receipts and payments account, the incomes will be traced out and will be recorded in the income and expenditure account. So all those items on the receipt side which are of revenue in nature and which are related to the current year will be shown on the income side of the income and expenditure account. Similarly, when we look at the payment side of the receipts and payments account, we will be able to identify the expenditure of the organization, that is all payments which are related to the expenditure or which are in revenue expenditure in nature and which are related to the current year will be recorded on the payments side of the, that is expenditure side of the income and expenditure account. That is, for preparation of income and expenditure account, the basis will be the receipts and payments account. However, this does not imply that they do not make a trial balance. Here, in order to check the arithmetical accuracy of the accounts, even like the trading concerns, a non-trading organization also prepares a trial balance, as in order to check the accuracy of the ledger accounts, they also prepare a trial balance which facilitates the preparation of accurate receipts and payments account as well as income and expenditure account and a balance sheet. Here the trial balance is also prepared in case of a not for profit organizations. So this is what about the income and expenditure account. Then we look at what are the differences between the income and expenditure account and receipts and payments account. So base of distinction account, income and expenditure account and receipts and payments account. When we look at the nature, it is like a profit and loss account. The income and expenditure account looks like a profit and loss account which is of nominal account in nature. And in case of receipts and payments account, it is a summary of the cash book. It is just like a cash book which is of real account in nature. Now, nature of items. What are the different types of account? What is the nature of the items that are recorded in the income and expenditure account? It records income and expenditure of revenue nature only. Here we need to make a point that in the income and expenditure account, we are going to record only those revenue, only items which are revenue in nature. That means only related to that particular period. It records, in case of receipts and payments account, it records receipts and payments of revenue as well as capital in nature. Here in the receipts and payments account, both the items of revenue as well as capital nature will be recorded. In case of period, income and expenditure account, items relates to only the current period. So as we have discussed earlier, the income and expenditure will only record the current year for which we are preparing the account. So only for that one particular current year we are going to record the items. In case of receipts and payments account, may also relate to preceding and succeeding periods. So here there is no condition that we need to record only the current year items. Here whatever the transactions in cash are done in the current year, it may be relating to the previous year, current year or subsequent year. All the items will be taken into account if that transaction has taken place in the year. The next one is debit side. So debit side of this account, that is the income and expenditure account, records expenses and losses. In case of receipts and payments account, on the debit side we record receipts. Here the income and expenditure, as it is a nominal account in nature, debit all expenses and losses. And in case of receipts and payments account, it is a real account, debit what comes in. The receipts are coming in, we will be recording the debit side receipts. And on the credit side, credit all gains and incomes. So in the income and expenditure account, on the credit side we record income side gains, and that of receipts and payments account, credit what goes out, that is the payments will be recorded in the on the credit side of receipts and payments account. So depreciation, so includes, the depreciation is included in the income and expenditure account and it does not include in the receipt side payments account, as it is not related to the cash item, it is not recorded in the receipt side payment account. As we discussed, as we said that income and expenditure account is based on the accrual concept, whereas receipts and payments account is based on the cash basis. Then opening balance. Here income and expenditure account will not begin with the opening balance, whereas the receipts and payment account will begin with the opening balance. That is, if there is a cash in hand or cash at bank, that will be recorded on the debit side to balance brought down, and in case of if there is a overdraft, bank overdraft balance, we record on the credit side by balance brought down on the credit side of the receipt side payments account. And in case of closing balances, here the resultant figure in the income and expenditure account will result in either surplus or deficit that will be taken or adjusted to the capital fund. And in case of receipts and payments account, it ends with a closing balance which represents the balance in cash or the bank. So this is what the general description or the differentiation between the income and expenditure account and receipt side payments account. So today we have discussed about what are the various types of accounts that are maintained by the non-trading organization or not-for-profit organizations, and what is each, that is receipts and payments account, income and expenditure account, and what is the difference between these two types of accounts. And here, while preparing the receipts and payments account, it is just like, as we said, it is just like a cash book. All the entries related to the cash items are recorded on the debit side and on the credit side. Debit side all receipts and credit side all payments. And here the receipts and payments account will help the accountant in preparing the income and expenditure account, and after doing so, on the basis of the available information in the receipts and payments account and income and expenditure account, a balance sheet can be drawn to know the various assets and liabilities of the organization. So this is what about the different types of accounts that are maintained under the for a not-for-profit organizations. So thank you.